In the previous session, we learned how to use scaffold in a Flutter application. We implemented app bar, added a body widget, and implemented a floating action button. We provided callback functions, but we haven't put any business logic. In this session, we will implement button navigation bar, add an icon to the floating action button, and implement business logic for all the callback functions. Button navigation bar. Now we will see what we can add to the button navigation bar. The principle to create a button navigation bar is that you need to have minimum 3 buttons or 3 destinations in your application or in your screen in order to provide the button navigation bar, which means we need to have minimum 3 buttons there. So now what we will do is we are going to add 3 buttons there in that one. So row is actually like a horizontal arrangement of elements. So it actually accepts multiple childs, so we have to give 3 now. The first one always would be the home page or the page where you are actually like having that button navigation bar. So in this case it's the home page, so what I'm going to give is I'm going to add it as icon, or I'm going to provide icon data as home, and the mandatory param is on pressed, which is we have given a dummy implementation for that. And another one is icon button mail. Yep. And the last button what we are going to add is dot shopping cart, and the mandatory parameter of callback function. Yep. Sorry, on pressed on. So this is one another one, and yep, you're done with that. As you have seen that you have provided implementation for a bottom navigation bar, and once we reloaded we have seen that 3 buttons are added at the bottom of the entire screen. So we are not much worried about the look and feel of the entire screen. Now we will beautify this later in the session. Now we are going to add a functionality to the floating action button, where we have just provided a dummy implementation for the icon pressed. Now what we'll do is we'll just provide child. So the button accepts a child. We can just pass an icon to that. So icons dot add. In this our sample application, this one doesn't make much sense, but just to demonstrate the functionality, I have just provided the add part there, and we'll just format it real quick. And yep, so this is how you create a simple sample application there in Flutter. Now we would actually go out and beautify this application. The first and foremost thing which we see that is the text on the home page. As we have seen that the text is not looking nice, so there is one way which we can beautify that is by centering this text. So there is one widget called sender, and the sender widget has a child which is nothing but our text widget, and pass that one to the sender widget. Yep. And once you reload, now our text is displaying sender. And another one which doesn't look nice is the button navigation bar. In order to align the components in row, we have to understand a few things. One is the alignment in the axis where the items are added, and alignment in the cross axis. So there are two things which we need to understand with any particular widget which are scrollable. One is a scroll cross axis, another one is the main axis. The main axis is nothing but it is the scrollable axis or the scroll axis, or in other ways what we can say that the main axis is where you add all the components. So for a row we add components horizontally, because of that the main axis is x-axis. For a column we add components vertically, because of that the main axis is y-axis. So the cross axis for row is y-axis and the cross axis for a column is x-axis. Now that we have understood the cross axis and the main axis, now we need to adjust the alignment for these items in the main axis. So what we'll do is there's a parameter called main axis alignment. So what we can do is we can fiddle with this center and whatever parameters, whatever values which provides. These are enumerations anyway. So I will provide center, save it real quick. Yep. Now that we have seen that the navigation bar is centered and all the buttons are looking beautiful there, but there is another thing which could be a real concern. Assume that you have an application, you have a device wherein this entire application is actually stretching up to the edge of the screen. So if it is obscuring the screen or obscuring other functionalities, then a quick way to fix that is wrapping it in the safe area. Safe area is a material widget available in Flutter, which again has a child. It's nothing but the scaffold which we have already created, and I will just give it real quick and format the document, save it. Voila. Yep. Now as you have seen that we have added functionality to the scaffold, did the alignment of all the components, try to display this in the safe area. And as you know, safe area is not needed for this iPhone XR. So what we would do is we will just provide some additional functionality to these buttons we have added. Start with the first one. It's a leading, we just provide debug print. Debug print would accept something like a message. So press leading or press menu. So it just printers print menu. So the another one is our contacts. So again debug print. So that's it. So I'll just another I will add pressed settings. Again come to this, we'll add pressed home page. Here it is mailbox. And the last one is, of course, it is shopping cart. These are the ones available for navigation bar, and for this one it is pressed floating action button. Now that we have added some functionality to all these callback functions, and we will go ahead and quickly verify whether the functionality is working fine. I will start with this menu and we'll test all the buttons and we'll verify the floating action buttons also. So we clicked on menu and it printed the pressed menu, and contacts, it printed pressed contacts. settings, home page, mailbox, shopping cart, and floating action button. Now that we have seen that the functionalities are working fine, and we have seen how to create a Flutter application real quick using the basic elements there in that provided by the Flutter framework. In the next session, what we will do is we will use the advanced functionalities provided by the scaffold, which are the button sheets and the drawer, and we will add another additional functionalities for the button navigation bar, and we will add few more pages to the application so that you would be able to see that button navigation bar has some functionality, and we would be able to verify that real quick on the UI itself. So this is how you can create a sample Flutter application, or you can create an application real fast using the Flutter framework. I hope you enjoy this video. Hit a thumbs up if you like the video, and please subscribe if you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next session.